Welcome back to the grounduppod.
Oh my God, I'm never buying in Guildford Council again. I think the planning process is atrocious. We've lost like a year and a bit. It's a killer.
I said, how long would have that project take before the high risk change? And he said, started and finished within 24 months. So that's taken it from a 2-year project to a 4.5-year project just to go through the high risk gateways.
I think if you're going to be a developer, you kind of have to be doing more than one scheme to mitigate the risks.
Gail's Bakery have signed their lease now, 15 years on that, which is excellent. And there's 6.5 million people a year. It's the number one tourist attraction, and it's directly in front of the castle.
If you can get a building with sufficient footfall, commercial can be quite strong. The wife was not happy at all. My wife and the kids were dressed, swimming, ready to go in the pool. My phone rings. I knew I had to answer it. And I kid you not, I was on that phone for 35 minutes whilst they were stood there.
If that was me on holiday, my missus would be going fucking potty.
Ground up sound, ooh yeah, real estate deals. We lay them down, let's get those deals. Deals, deals, making money, baby.
Welcome back to the grounduppod.
We're
all
the introduction.
Oh. I think Ryan's given it from Darlington. Welcome.
It's everywhere.
It's that welcome, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe
Welcome
someone
back.
else could do the intro.
Hey, let me give it one more go. Welcome back to... No, it's not coming, is it?
No,
Welcome.
no.
I enjoyed it.
So, episode 72. Fucking hell. What's the point in coming on a podcast if you can't talk?
Just have to text, mate. Right,
72.
let's go. Welcome back to Ground Up Podcast. It's episode 72. You're joined by Stuart Wyeth, Dorian Payne, and Jack Jiggins. Jack has just tried doing 3 introductions, but his voice is fucked. And Ryan is also ill, so he rang up about 10 minutes ago and said he can't make it. Voice note sounding rough as a dog. So there's lots going around. But yeah, Jack, how are you, mate?
Not bad, actually. Other than the voice, not bad. Not bad at all. As I said, never had a sick day in my working career, so just power on.
I've only have to have cancel days when I've got customers. I can't turn up to someone's house when you're absolutely coughing and spluttering and your eyes are watering and you turn up to the house. I mean, they look at you a bit rough, like, nah, they're the ones you have to cancel, but the phone's never off, is it, when you run your own business? You just still got to take calls and crack on with stuff.
On that topic, removed my mobile number from my signature. See what happens.
Off your email, off your foot.
Yeah.
I had a customer tenant ring me yesterday from the bank, not yesterday, 3 days ago. And I was like, how the hell have they got my number? We've got like 3 different levels of security before they get through for me. And they basically went onto the board out the front, saw that it said SW Homes, new developments required, and went on the website, pulled my mobile number straight off it. And now I'm dealing with a heating issue that I need to sort out. But you can't just turn your phone off and go call someone else. Now they got the director's number. They're like, yeah, that's fine. So there's an hour's worth of time I'll never get back.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes you can't hide it. If you want people to ring you and you want business, tenants and customers will always get you.
Do you have a separate phone for your personal and your business?
Just one phone. I am in debate. I am thinking about getting a new number, just because my number is plastered everywhere and everyone can get hold of me all the time, including so many. I don't know if you're getting more cold calls.
What's your number again?
It's 07778. Yeah, no, it's a pain, and it seems to be like everyone and their dog wants to call me, and you don't know, you can't filter good phone calls from bad phone calls. You know, we've got a valuation being done. You know, I was busy for about 3 hours yesterday. Phone was off. 15 missed calls later, and I'll start ringing through 4 or 5 of them, and they're either agents of people or companies that are trying to sell me different petrol solutions, and it's just like, oh my God, trying to wade through. And then you don't want to miss a phone call that's super urgent, that's actually really vital for the business, because it's just messy with all the other shitty cold calls you get. So it is a tough one. So I am in debate whether, because I've had the same number for 15 years, and I've obviously put lots of different hats on over those years, and it's different. It's so hard to focus on the right people and the right phone calls.
You've got to make sure you got a private number for your Babe Station subscription.
Exactly. Yeah, my OF fans have got a different number. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't got a separate number either, but I think I did at one point, and then I struggled just to keep track of charging my current phone up, let alone trying to manage anything else. I just, for some reason, all that sort of stuff, I just
That is,
find it.
that is one. Are you one of those people that just never has a battery on your phone? I
Yeah,
just never understand that.
yeah.
My
Never understand it. My missus is the same. Like, you pick up her phone, it's dying every
Yeah.
time you pick it up, and it's just like, when you
Yeah,
charge
yeah.
it overnight, and they're like, oh, it's bad for the battery health. It's also bad for the battery health if it's off and you're not using it.
Yeah, well, we was talking about golf just before this as well, and you know, I've had health smartwatches, battery's dead. I've had golf rangefinders, battery's dead. I've had all these gadgets. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, I'm that sort of person where I will have enough stuff on me to keep my battery charged 5 times over, you know, like the remote chargers. And it absolutely does my head in when the missus is sat on the sofa and she's got my battery pack attached to the phone. And I'm like, the rule
That's my
is
reserve.
that's for outside when we're in a fucking woodland and my leg's severed
That's
off
so funny.
and we need to call someone, not when you're sat next to a fucking cable.
And the cable is literally hanging over the arm of the sofa, and they just can't be able to plug it in. And the other thing I hate about mobile phones is that I'm on the 14, and it seems to be as soon as they bring out the new one, which is coming out in a week's time, the last month the battery's dying like half speed or twice speed, and the internet, it just cuts off on the phone calls. They must do some sort of software. I don't know,
Don't
some software.
update it.
Is that what you reckon it is? I don't know. It's just every sort of 3 years they always want you to buy a new phone, which is a bit of a pain.
The other week I was saying to my missus, I was like, my battery is dreadful now. And it's because I didn't close down a golfing app and my phone told me it was using 16% of my battery a day.
What was the golfing app?
Golfing app in the background.
Yeah, it's just
That's probably the one that tracks you where you are versus the
GPS.
courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's taken
like 2
7,000
weeks
swings
later,
to
it
get the
was
ball in.
like, you've got about 600 shots to get to the green from here. And I was just in the local shop.
No.
That's
Talking
funny.
to golf, D, you all ready for your golf trip in a couple of weeks?
Yes, let's go. We've got some goodies have been arriving because apparently I need to look the part, you know, all the gear, no idea, but it should be good fun. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to. I'm more looking forward to just again spending time with good people. It's going to be a good trip. The villa looks nice. The weather's looking good. Villamore is a lovely spot, and it's going to be action packed. We've got stuff happening every day, other than the golf as well. So it should be, yeah. What about you, Stu? You looking forward to it?
I've still got an open email tab from Mia saying what we're up to. So 20 to 24th of September, luxury villa accommodation with pool and on-site amenities. We've got free golf, days. What we got? We've got a private tennis court, a 4-hole pitch and putt course. We've got private chef. Yeah, we've got sunset catamaran cruise on the second day on the Sunday evening. That'd be nice. Gonna bring the old swimming shorts, mate. Have a bit of a swim.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're also ending the trip, aren't we, on a Aqua Show water park, which would be good.
The largest
We all
water
fly
park.
home back to reality.
Yeah, then back to reality. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait for that water park either. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be like
good.
one of those kids where we all go through the gates together, and then boom, I'm gone over there. Yeah, see now.
Oh,
You got
got a snooker room as well, pool room. That'd be good.
Yeah,
a
we've
little
got games
competition on
room.
that.
Yeah.
It'd be sweet. How many people are coming?
You're gonna fly over, Jack? About 14.
I was trying to get the in-laws to come during the trip so that I could get away, but they're actually coming on the following week. So I think it's going to be a tough ask, but I'll leave it. I've sown the seed. I reckon it's less likely, but still not impossible.
We can always top and tail, Jack, if you get a late chance and you can fly them over. It's only a couple of hours away.
The two brothers back in a bed together.
Won't be the first time, Jack.
Should we talk about the go-karting and
definitely
also the event? I mean, if my voice holds up. So Groundup are hosting a go-karting competition and also a bit of networking, a bit of live Q&A on the 28th of November. Tickets are still available. It'll be kicking off at 3:30 p.m. We'll share the link in the description. And we're also running our own event on the blimey, the date's wrong on here actually. On the 9th of January. No suits, no egos, just good fun, good event, good talkers. I'll hopefully have my voice back by then. Yeah, we got some merch coming along with us. And it'll be a good day. Oh, got it out. Right, I'm done now.
Done.
Out.
Yeah.
Are you any good at go-karting, Jack?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
like
win?
go-karting.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think the problem with
Power to weight
go-karting
ratio's
is
all right.
that the smaller and lighter you are, the faster you go, don't you?
That's not really for like indoor.
Not electric. The power.
Yeah, it's not really that applicable because it's all about momentum. I've got a top trick for you. Apparently, what you're supposed to do when people turn into corners, they lean in. But what that does is it puts your weight on your non-traction wheels. So what you're supposed to do is lean out. So your weight actually benefits you to get grip. So you can
save your tips until after the event, all right?
So
So I'm competitive. Every year for Skylofts, we've done a go-karting competition for like 6 years rate, and every year there's like 20 of us, and they all want to beat the main man, and they haven't done it yet. So it's electric indoor. So I don't know this track, but I know Farnborough very well. So I can go around pretty much in reverse and win that
I've
one.
got that exact same. I've got that exact same.
Stuart's at home on the Nintendo Wii playing Mario Kart, just practice.
Almost certainly before the day, I will have spent some time on YouTube just understanding the track, because it's just worth investing 15 minutes of your time just to really sort of manifest each corner.
Well,
so when you turn up on the day, it's just ready to go.
The last time I went go-karting was with the lads from the TDC, and I rocked up to the arena with my e-golf that I put through the business, and Tyler comes in his Lamborghini and parks next to me, and I thought, yeah, you wait, Tyler. And anyway, out comes JJ with the first prize in his e-golf, strapped it into the passenger seat with a seatbelt on.
Thrown off into the sunset.
That's fun. Well, I can probably guarantee I'm going to be somewhere around like maybe the bottom 5.
The bottom 5. You're not good.
No, all sports. You know, I enjoy playing some, but I'm just naturally bad at them. So it just it's like a skill of mine. You know?
So you want to charge your phone now? Help.
Consistency, I suppose, is a good thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what I do. You know, golf days, I'm consistently somewhere near the bottom. When we went shooting, I had a good day. I was last.
Stu's good at shooting.
Did I win the shooting?
I
come top 3. I think it was.
I think Steph.
Oh yeah, Steph won by a point. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just have too much fun. I'm not that serious with them.
I think it's got to do
my
with
mind's elsewhere.
I think it's got to do with like hand-to-eye coordination, like how
Very
you grew up.
as well.
How you grew up.
These tips are going in there, out there. I'm thinking about that. So
no, what I'm saying is, it's too late. You're over the hill.
Yeah, you're past.
Just be a sore loser.
Just make sure when we go and play golf, we're not in the same golfing group.
Yeah.
You can go. Hopefully,
it'll be a spectacle to watch me and Stu race out. So you'll still have a good day.
Yeah, I still have. I get to witness history, so that's the thing. You got to take the positives. Like I had a very bad golf day recently. In fact, it was so bad that the people in my team basically said to me, "How are you still smiling?" And I was like, "I've mastered the skill of being crap. Don't worry."
Golf is a total mental game, because it's actually a fairly straightforward sport, right? You swing a metal club up, hit the ball fairly accurately, and it goes where you want it to go. And if you're in a nice frame of mind and you're totally relaxed and you're enjoying the moment, it's really quite easy to play. You can play it on form. And then 90% of the time, you're stressed, you're thinking about other things, the weather's not good. You think about where you've got to be in 3 or 4 hours. You've got a wife who wants you home, or girlfriend or boyfriend, and your mind's everywhere else but, and then that ball goes everywhere else as well.
Play really well if I had a boyfriend waiting for me at home. Bloody hell.
Just trying to keep it unisex, mate. Girlfriend, boyfriend. I say it to customers as well. It's like most customers want an office in their loft. I'm like, you don't want to offend anyone, so you like go, husband, wife, husband. No one cares. It's an office, and I just try, because you can offend someone like that if you don't mention.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's funny actually. I rented a motorhome recently, and it had a disclaimer on the motorhome saying we do not accept same sex parties. I was thinking to myself, does that mean what I think it means?
So you had to leave and rent somewhere else, did you, for your naughty home?
No, I'm for I'm all right, but I'm just thinking in today's age, that's a bit brave, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll have to get a female. You'll have to get a female sheep, Dorian.
Females, they're quite rare. They are, Jack. They're mostly male around here.
Are they?
All right. Well,
But any for listening, there's only 30 spaces left or so for the go-karting, so you should come along because it's going to be really good fun. It's in Canary Wharf, London, and who knows what we'll get up to after the event as well. Probably some shenanigans, but it'll just be a good laugh. And then on top of that, we have our live event, as Jack said, which will also be very good. I think the tickets on sale for that now, Jack, or they're about to be.
I think they're soon to go on, but yeah, we'll do an early bird. So if you want a cheaper price for the same event, make sure you hit up that link and let us know that you want to come.
Just want to read the itinerary out on the go-karting. So it starts at 4. We've got a 15-minute qualifying race, a 15-minute final race. Then at 4:50, at 4:30, there is an hour race simulator where everyone sort of gets comfortable. We do an hour of Q&As, and then 6:30 podium presentation, and then 7:30 we're out for dinner and drinks. So again, quite a social thing. It's a Friday afternoon, evening. Be great to see some of the listeners there and to have a chat and see what they think of the podcast, see if they've got any ideas about it, what thing we can introduce for the future. Because like I said, we love chatting and talk about anything. And this episode's pretty much not planned at all. It's us catching up from the week and yeah, get your tickets. And obviously the Ground Up Network, Jack and I do every other Wednesday, and then Dorian and Rye do, is it Monday? Every other Monday. And then all the guys that are on there, we sort of jump on, and it's great to hear in people's experiences, where they're up to. People are buying new sites, people are on existing sites. There's so many things in property to learn from. I actually enjoy, literally look forward to it. On a Wednesday, I can jump on and we can spend an hour and a half, 2 hours. God knows where the conversation's going. I almost come away from every meeting going, that was clever. Yeah, definitely could implement that. And we're always learning all the time in this industry. So planning seems to be a big issue. I think we're going to get another developer friend that we know who's got some planning issues at the moment. I'm having a fucking mare with one of our sites. Cancel. No one is playing ball. Well, the thing is that Hampshire Highways have come and said that they think they own a piece of land between the road and our land, which we want to relocate the positioning of the entrance. So now we're in dispute. So it's all just time. I mean, fortunately, we own the land outright. We're not paying huge amounts of holding costs on it. And we are paying the investor 7% on their money, the SPV is. But we want to relocate the positioning of the entrance. There's 2 entrances, and to reposition it to get a better splay on the site. Even though the 2 entrances are existing, we're putting less people, there's less movements per hour because it's being obviously converted into residential. But now Highways have come back and said they think they own this bit of land, and on our title it's clear that they own the front section. They've clearly bought the front gardens of this road to put pathways and bus stops and stuff. But it's not 100% clear on the side where we want to put this new entrance in.
Did your lawyer not pick this up in the conveyancing process?
Not at all, because on the title it's right up to the road line. But what they've done is it used to be farmland, and it was obviously an old title, and then they've on the south side of the road they've obviously carved up and put more dwellings there. So it's not 100%, but I'm like 99% sure that we own right to the road. So the bush, the ditch, and also we've got evidence that that the previous owners, the veterinary owners, were maintaining the bush anyway. So it's like we've been maintaining it for 30 odd years. You've got to maintain your bush. Keep it trimmed.
I get the way I always think about this is they've got to prove you wrong as much as you've got to prove you're right.
Yeah. They'll have no evidence of keeping this, and then they might not put up a fight. It's just another 3 or 4 weeks, and it's like if we have to move the red line on the plan, then is it a brand new planning application? And we've had to wait like 9 months. Guildford Council, oh my god, I'm never buying in Guildford Council again. I think the planning process is atrocious. We've had to wait for the BAT survey, so we've lost like a year and a bit, which it's a killer. And all it is 8 units. It's nothing crazy. Yeah, this on an old redundant building.
Speaking of,
really, it's like planning can be so difficult, and you do have some local authorities that are pro planning and some that are anti, and they basically do everything they can to just delay and delay and delay. And I honestly think as a developer, if you can find out, if the local authority you're operating in or want to operate in is not pro-development, anti-development, just kind of stay away, because the effort and time
It
is
is.
just insane. Like, better off
I've
building.
heard the biggest. There was a study that showed that most people that work in planning and at the councils are just naturally bad at sport, so they join the council and then just make everyone else's life difficult. Speaking of like project delays, I played golf with a neighbour the other day who works fairly high up at Barratt Homes, and he was telling me he's got a site that's now high risk building, and he's had to go through all of the gateways to get the site basically implemented. And he said it's down to the detail of pre-commencement. You need to prove a management fire plan from the managing agent of something before you start breaking ground. And this is like a 300 unit site. So they've had to engage a managing company well ahead of even starting it. It's a build to rent scheme. And I said, how long would have that project take before the high risk change? And he said, we'd have that started and finished within 24 months. And he said, it's going to be at least 4.5 years to deliver that scheme. So that's taken it from a 2-year project to a 4.5-year project just to go through the high risk gateways on the project.
Yeah.
That's madness.
Yeah.
Absolutely mad. And they probably bought that before the gateways come in, right? Because it's only been, they would have been working on that a few years or a year and a half before the gateways come in. What, 2 years ago now?
I think, like, that's the realities of it, isn't it? It's planning what we've got allocated sites literally in the local development plan allocated for development that have been in the planning process for 3 years, and I still can't develop them. Yeah, you're constantly met with, the principle for development is acceptable. However, this needs to be done. And oh, by the way, you can't do that until 6 months down the line. You're like, this is just unreal. But we are where we are, and what I try to do every time this happens is try our very best to, as we're saying, really, I think if you're going to be a developer, you kind of have to be doing more than one scheme to try to mitigate the risks of this happening, and try not to have all of your eggs in one kind of local authority, especially if you've never worked with them before, so you don't know if they're good or not.
Would you prioritise a site? Do you blacklist areas then within your area that you won't go and look at land because the council?
I wouldn't say blacklist, but you go in with your eyes wide open. So like I'll know. So in certain areas, if we think it's going to take 3 years to get planning, that dictates your acquisition strategy, how you negotiate with the vendor. It just dictates where it lies in your pipeline. There's nothing wrong with doing a deal that's 3, 4, or even 5 years out as a developer, because that's part of the game. It's just it's no point going into those areas thinking you're going to get in and out within 12 months because you were going to set all of your assumptions for your business model are fucked.
Yeah. Interestingly, I bid on a grade to listed development site in Oxfordshire, and someone outbid me. And then I found out it was someone I knew in my network, who's a SaaS pension, like really low key developer. And I kind of initially thought to myself, she's going to lose money on that, because I knew my numbers. And I was like, the incremental value of the purchase price played such a detrimental impact on the scheme, because the majority of the costs were in the build. And anyway, I was chatting to sort of a mutual person. She was like, yeah, she just likes a project and she'll probably take 5 or 7 years to do that scheme. And it's just like, if you know what you want to do and you have your own timeframes set, you can be a little bit more relaxed about it. But we're obviously trying to compound our value of our schemes back into the business, which is where this problem comes of our economy. We're basically stringing things out for no reason. We're still getting the same result, which is painful.
So I think from a business point of view, though, guys, how is the operations going? What's what's good, what's bad, what's good, what's challenging?
The last week I've literally spent maybe 2.5 days, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you head down into building a new CRM, I'm basically running a letting company. There's no way around it now. With Megan leaving, all the information that's everywhere over different spreadsheets, my brain just is too sporadic. I need it all in one place. And we use Salesforce, and it's an unbelievable tool, and it's actually given me a new lease of life to sort of, you basically imagine a master spreadsheet with loads and loads of fields, and it's almost impossible to find what field to put it in and stuff. This allows you to carve up almost like a live spreadsheet, and you can put each part of the spreadsheet into different sections. You can create views. That means you can dedicate, I don't know, 8 of the cells that need filling into one department. So you can give one page to someone. And it's just lovely to go, right, what actually do we need to capture? What do we not need to capture? Critical information, because I've always sort of gone, what, we pay a full management company, let them manage it. But then we've got a handful that we've done in-house that we need to manage and look after. I'm relying on little Debbie down at ABC Lettings down in Guildford to tell me that one of the rooms is out. I don't want to rely on that. I need to know internally. So you can set a load of formulas up and say, like, show me all the ones that are expiring this quarter. So then all I can look at is the reports that are coming through once a month. It's just a real nice way of looking at everything. But when you're going through 86 rooms and we've got another 20 in the pipeline to be added, and then we're now reporting to SPV investors that want to sort of keep an eye on this sort of stuff. So you can give them a view only and just let them look at their particular project. So but then it's almost like building a whole business from scratch, because it's just, and obviously it's expensive, but because we've got Sky Lofts that already pay for it, it's like 25 grand a year, whatever we pay. We've almost built different objects now to build other businesses inside it. So it's a good cost-effective way of doing it. It just takes a lot of time and energy, but I'm well into it now, and I'm quite enjoying it. Yeah, I've got all the information, all the spreadsheets from the different staff members, and then I'll put all that together and then actually ask them the question why we're trying to capture it. And it will lead after 2 or 3 questions into actually we're trying to only capture that part. So we don't really give a shit when they start and when they end. We just want to know when the end date is, which then saves real estate on the screen. So you only really want to know what date, why are you catching the data, and what are you trying to get out of the back end of it? What report are you trying to manage? And that's the art. And obviously I've built quite a few CRMs now through Sky Lofts, through trial and error, from catching everything to scaling things down to going, actually, we really need these critical bits of information. So let's put that back in. And over the adding and taking out the master plan, you get to a balance where everything seems to tick along. It's like trying to maintain a good engine, really. So I'm just doing the same thing with the letting side now.
Well, it's good. It's interesting because when you bring it out a project, especially like an IT project, a lot of them fail, and we've done it ourselves, and a lot of them fail. And they fail because they don't have the key person set. They don't have one person accountable for setting it up, getting it working, and then making sure it gets rolled out and training the relevant people on exactly how to use it. When it's kind of left to multiple people to try to fill in bits left, right, and centre, it just all goes pitong. Definitely.
I've tried that. We've paid consultants to come in. We've paid good money for the consultants to come in and try, and no one understands the pain of your business like the owner. And I think that's really where, it's, however big or however small you are, I know the challenge. I need to know that the questions I'm going to ask in 6 months' time to a year's time, within a click of a button, someone give me the answers to it. And no one knows the questions I'm going to ask apart from me. So I need to work out what I want. A lot of the team I've got, most people do, employees like to know their job roles, their responsibilities, and once I've done these things, I can feel a sense of achievement. Happy days. I just need to set the rules, and they'll pretty much stick to it. But they don't like change, so you don't want to throw too much in and then go, actually, we're ripping all that up. Now we're going to try something else. And all these bolt-on softwares, I'm sure the AIs of the world and all these things you can buy, and I know like Mondays there and stuff. It's all designed to be made easier. But once you're comfortable with something and you know how it works, you haven't got to spend the time of how does this work just before you start. I can just jump into Salesforce and pretty much get going. And they've got a great helpline. So I would just literally log a case, and within 10 minutes the phone's ringing, and I'll give them access to our live thing, and they'll sort the problem out. And I just literally tell them the sentence, I need this to do this, and when this goes positive or negative, or once I put a date in there, it needs to trigger an alert to an email 7 days before, and they'll go, yep, done. Like, happy days. And if there's a block or something's not letting me do it, then they'll jump on the phone and help. So they are very good, but it's just expensive. But you pay for what you get, right?
So you're currently spending a lot of your time in setting up these systems.
I'm probably another 2 days away from it being done. Yeah, I'm probably 2 days away from it, and then we've got to put all the data entry in. So,
what would you guys say that like the number of units under management becomes that's kind of it become critical for you to start doing that? Like how did you manage it? What was the turning point to get to that?
I think you start from 0, personally. If you have one property, you need to know when you're doing EICRs, gas safety certificates. You need to know dates where you're testing. You need quarterly inspections. So from asset one, you need a spreadsheet that tells you what you need to do. I mean, we do it on Monday.com, but and actually we use Coho, which is a management tool that is really useful for sure.
Yeah, there's so many bits like that you need. Your fire inspection tests, your flick tests, your AOV tests, pat testing. Like there's all these dates that you need to, and you just want someone to have a list to go, well, that's what I need to work through this month, and just get them ticked off. And it's just, we're getting to a point now where effectively we're becoming a letting agent without actually having to do the references, get all the qualifications to do the references, the deposit.
So to answer your question, Dorian, about actually bringing management in-house, I think it's once you surpass all the costs to do it. So I think to run a lettings business yourself is going to cost you about 40 grand a year. So if your letting fees are more than that, that's when you should bring it in-house.
That's the salary of a lettings manager, you mean, is it?
PRS, safe agency, all of that nonsense that you got to subscribe to.
Obviously, so because you guys mainly do, I know you have some single lets, but it's mainly HMOs, isn't it? So would you say that 40,000 is actually? Would you say 40,000 is enough to cover a lettings manager plus the software? I thought it'd be higher than that.
Yeah, no, that's about right.
Yeah, I would want at least triple that before the headache, because I just don't want to run another business. I want to take, but I'd rather just squeeze.
Are you using an agency now, Stu?
So we were using two, but now since the bank, we've got them all let now, which is great. The last one moves on a Monday. I've done some video recording yesterday with my dad, bless him. I just realised that we've got the last three that are moving in. Was it Friday's day? So on Monday they're all moving in, and didn't do a completion video, so I didn't actually go around and show anyone the finish. We've got the ones before, during, cut the during ones, and didn't get an M one. I was like, shit, Dad, I need you to come and do a bit of video for me. So we got the video done yesterday, and we also went to Windsor yesterday and done a quick tour of the building before we start ripping out on Monday. Gail's Bakery have signed their lease now, 15 years on that, which is excellent. The council, we were going for Class G. So we went for planning to change the front, which we got approved, which is why it took so long. Then we went for Class G for 2 flats above the shop. We had Gail's were interested, but they didn't want us to reduce the shop front. Go a bit off piste here. But by putting a new doorway in. So we discounted their offer. But we had Harrison Hall who were interested on the ground floor with the reduced shop. They didn't care about the front, but it meant we could do the two. I wanted to do 2 Airbnb flats upstairs because there would have been excellent views. We could have taken full advantage of new investors and people who are interested in our business to go there and stay and see what we were about. And I could have had a lot of fun with, deer heads on the wall and themed. I was going to do one royal theme, one Ascot theme, and then have some fun with it for a few years. But the council refused Class G because there's not enough bin storage. We could have gone in again. But we would have to lose too much space on the ground floor, which is really where the real estate is and the value of that building. To increase the bin store, we minimised it as much as we could, and we had bins in each flat and bike stores and all the rest of the shit we had to deal with. Then they come back and refused on the 11th hour. Gail's got back in contact and like, we really want this building. How much are you looking to make for the 2 flats above? And we said, well, we're looking to probably make at least 10 grand a flat, net profit once we've built them out. And they said, we'll offer you the same money for 15 years, no breaks. So they've offered us for the whole building, but unfortunately the 2 floors they're not going to use upstairs. They just want to keep the width on the front. So we're in the AFL now. We signed. The boys are going there to do the strip out. It's all listed, so we've got heritage consultants and stuff to deal with. But once all that's done, the electrics and plumbing's been disconnected now, and then they will hand over them to do their kit out. They've sent us their plans. They're looking to spend about 800 grand on the building.
Wow.
They're a AAA rated tenant, so it should be quite good.
And what rent did you get? What rent are they paying?
I don't know if I should say on here, but 106 grand a year. Upwards rent review, cap and collar, 2% and 4% every 5 years, which is good. RPI linked, so we can effectively hold it for 5 years and then look at selling it or keep it. But it's such a legacy building, and if money becomes cheaper, interest rates come down, the yields will become from low 6s that we've had valued for now. So we're looking at hopefully going into like mid to low 5s over the next 5 years, and then with the rent review, it could be a nice little earner. But it's just such a beautiful building. It's just such a shame that we couldn't put these flats upstairs because they would have been epic. They would have been such nice flats to show off and to enjoy and to send family down there to stay in and stuff. But
this is the Windsor one now, isn't it?
It's the Windsor one. Have you not seen that one, have you, D?
No, but I've seen it because you took quite a bit of a risk on that one, didn't you, Stu? You bought it because you bought it because, correct me if I'm wrong here, you bought it because of the location, because you were just confident that when you would just make it work, whatever.
It was such a good location. I mean, the thing is that my risk thing there was we got to buy it unconditional. We had to buy it in 10 days because the guy who was under major pressure because he had one of five, he had to sell by a certain date. So we got it from like 1.4 to 1.2, 1.25, whatever we paid for it. We had 10 days to complete and bridge it. So I had to raise the money and get it done. The two investors were like, we know we can do something there. Let's just get the site. And there's 6.5 million people a year. It's the number one tourist attraction, and it's directly in front of the level crossing that you cross to go to the castle. So really, the value in that building is the commercial bit. The bit upstairs was the cherry on top with the two flats. But with the deal we done with Gail's, I mean, they're a beautiful bakery. They're going to do a lovely job on the inside. And my last video on that one, I've just done the video yesterday of what it looks like now and what our original plans were, and then this time next year I'll go in there once they finish and have a coffee. And
That's the thing, isn't it? If you can get a building with sufficient footfall, commercial can be quite strong. It's just when you obviously do commercial, when especially on retail like that, where the footfall is like nil, then it's
Stuart, have you done any sometimes with our commercial sites, and we actually keep them commercial? I do an exercise, look at what the profit is as commercial and what the profit is as resi, and sometimes the profit's the same, but you just got a load of aggro and work to deliver it.
well, this one here, I mean, I didn't care about the building work because Trial Finders next door, and they've just done their development. They've done the whole building because their offices, it's their HQ, and they actually own the site. So they've dealt with it all, and we could deal with it all. But now I've got a headache-free life. I can move on to another site than having to think about the hoarding, the access. I mean, this is they do changing of the guard directly outside twice a week. You know, that's a whole day effectively of prep up to 11:30 when they open the roads again, and that's on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So I'm almost losing a day a week when I can't do anything, can't get any deliveries. Got the parking's horrific. You know, it's 30 quid a day to park in Windsor these days. So all these costs would have been quite considerable. Yes, it's two flats. We could have done them in, less than 6 months for both of them once we started. But I haven't got to do any of that now, and I still make the same profit without having to do it. And we can always do it in 15 years' time.
So on that, Stu, just for the benefit of the listeners, like you said, you had to buy it in 10 days, 1.25 million plus fees, obviously, to buy it. You devised a strategy after you bought it, basically, and sounds obviously good. What was your investment strategy with two investors? Are they holding it with you? Is there pressure to repay them by a certain date, or is this debt?
They're both equity, so 50%, 50-50, and we obviously bought. I was going to do a lot of work to the building, and now we're not. One of my investors is a very good friend of mine, and he and his kids and my kids are almost family. So we decided we're going to keep it no matter what, and keep it as a legacy building. And one of my investors who I met through social media, she's a lovely lady, wanted to buy a bank. This was a year and a bit ago. The real money is in holding it long term, but she's quite a good earner. She wants to go to Dubai and wants to release the cash out. So 25% of the business could be up for sale. Now, obviously, I've said to her, look, let's just get it refinanced, get the lease agreed. We can't really refinance it until they finish their kit out and they're paying. They're outside of their 6 months tenant-free section. So we can't really do anything till the spring next year. So the plan will be I'll either pull out some of my SASH pension to buy her 25% and hold it. So I'll own 75% and my good friend will own 25%. We'll either sell her 25% to the open market or she might hold it. But he hasn't seen the full stack yet of what it looks like. So, and again, until we get the final valuation done, know what the building's like. The problem is we've held it for a year and a half. So we've basically spent 150 grand on holding costs, which if we'd done this deal 3 months after buying it, it would be a completely different story. So, and the market, so we I don't know is the answer. So I might pull out some, I've got a SaaS set up already and a SIP. So I might, depending on what the stocks and shares do, I might liquidate some money and buy that share off it. We'll see.
It's just those interesting details. Those are the things that listeners will never really get. If anyone interested in investment, this is and how deals are structured. They're all the interesting bits of how it actually works, isn't it? Because working with investors is critical. It's just sometimes you can get into a deal if you did that deal, for example, on pure debt with investors on a time frame, and it all goes out, then it can all just get very difficult very quickly, can it? But
there's pros and cons. We're looking at an option at the moment, and the option will be a debt deal because it'd be nice and clean. They'll do a high risk. I'll swim to Jack about it on Wednesday. Triple their investment. They stick 100 grand in or whatever you need, 150 grand. Give them, was it double or triple? I can't remember. It's all written down now, but effectively give them a really high risk reward for those sort of things because the upside's incredibly good if you get what you want or more. But risk where you are holding buildings for a time you can't control, then equity is the way forward, really, because you doing that on a debt would just wipe everything out. You don't want to be underwater once you've done a really good deal and then owe the investor 200 grand more than what you set out to owe. So
and Jack, how's the empire going?
It's going. Been doing a lot of capital raising recently. What else is new? Not a lot, really. Got a few more projects lined up. This voice is doing my head in. Mainly focused on capital raising, to be fair, because we're trying to do something similar to your deal that you've got going along, Dorian, of consolidation and finding a partner that can help growth with a bit more ease. And we're just finishing this summer internship with Reading University. We actually got nominated as one employer of the year, so we're a finalist in that for the intern program at Reading Uni, which is good. I'm going to politely pass on to you, Dorian, because I just can't talk for that long.
Yeah, no problem.
I can laugh, but I can't.
I'll give you some subtitles. Just text it, mate, and we'll just put them up on the face.
Just try and laugh talk.
Just do some hand gestures, Jack, if you want to. I think for me, business
is the dad emoji.
The dad, yeah. So a little one doing well, though, because you are
good, mate.
New dad,
good.
But good. Nice.
Good.
So yeah, for me, all's good. I've been away recently with the family. We rented a motorhome. Actually, that was the first time I've rented a motorhome with them. And if anyone's put 2 boys, 5 and 7, in a motorhome,
well, three boys.
Yeah, 3 boys. Yeah. It's a bit carnage, to be honest with you. And then when you pull up, it was the first time I used a motorhome as well, so I was making all the novice mistakes as you do. And you pull up to a campsite, and you've got these pros there that have been motorhoming for decades, and they've got all of their fucking. Some of them they had next to the motorhomes. They basically had they had like these awnings and the extra tents that come inside. So they have like a whole fucking apartment type thing. You look through the window, and they've got proper furniture inside them. Thinking, oh god, I had no awning, nothing. Just
you can just picture it, can't you, Stu? He's there feeling this small, and he just goes, I build 250 houses a year, but
no, I think, right, the best advice I can give anybody actually to get anything in life, and kind of it comes on like how to win friends and influence people. The book I've read years ago is one skill I think I have. I think we all have it, to be honest with you. Is I have no problem whatsoever just putting myself down, just go in there and admitting, look, guys, I know nothing about motorhoming. Can you tell me about it? And people who actually know something about it absolutely love to tell you about it. And the more you ask them questions and you're interested about what they're saying, and the more I just keep saying, I have no idea about this, I don't know what I'm doing, the more happier they're getting. And they fucking love you. If I went there and I started thinking, trying to go toe to toe with them.
Have you heard the I use this a lot in people management, but the phrase, if you want someone to do something, or you need someone to do a specific, let's say exactly how to do it, but you can't be bothered to, or you've got to focus on other things, always start the sentence with, can I get some advice? And they automatically feel on a pedestal, and it will help you. So I do that with one of my specific team members, that if I say, can we do this, he'll just probably do the opposite. If I go, can I get some advice on something? And he goes, yeah. And then you dive into the task. So I completely agree.
The word need and help. So I need you to help me on this. If you can really lean on them, that's exactly it. It's
hard because you try to instill that in managers. You see some like managers that come up through. They've been employed and they've worked through, and their style is very much like, I want you to do this, or I need you. you've got to do this by this day. That's like a more of a commanding approach. But yeah, I think, sorry, I divulged this. So the motorhome experience was good fun, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot
Did
as
you
well.
stay
just from
stationary? You go? Where'd you go? My brother done one
it
a
was
few months ago. Loved it. Wants to buy one.
West
And
Wales, went to Pembrokeshire. Yeah.
nice. Do you stay in one
So
location? You drive around the area, or
no, I stayed in one location because it wasn't for too long, and the place, the campsite had like a swimming pool and stuff there and facilities there. So by the time the kids just love swimming, they love swimming constantly. So it's so that was okay. But the problem is I went through the weekdays, so I was on my phone quite a lot actually. There was a lot of it. Typical. As soon as I pulled up, phone call, massive issue. Oh God, most of my staff are off because it's the last week. So I ended up working most of the trip. So the wife was not happy at all. But fortunately, she's understanding. And I suppose that's the other bit of advice to give anybody is try to get, if you've got a partner and you want to go into business and you've never had a business before, you really need to really try to set the expectations of to how difficult it could be, especially when you're on a holiday with the kids. And there was stuff I just had to do. There was just no way, two ways about it. And one day, I think I spent like in peak time, probably about 4-5 hours on the phone. Terrible it sounds. We literally turned up to the swimming pool. I was in my swimming stuff. My wife and the kids were dressed, swimming, ready to go in the pool. She needed my help because see they're young and we don't trust them swimming by themselves. My phone rings. I knew I had to answer it. I answered it, and I kid you not, I was on that phone for 35 minutes whilst they were stood there. And I was just every minute. You know when the phone call every second
You're
feels like
looking
it's
at
like a
them.
minute? I was like, oh my God, this is terrible.
what can you do? What can you do to change that? Because that's not healthy for you, the kids, the family.
To be honest with you, yeah, look, it was a combination of things. One, it just so happened, unfortunately, that pretty much all my senior management team were off on holiday. And
So
That's
you
the
know,
first lesson.
rule number one in
Yeah.
our company, you're not allowed to take holiday off if one other person in that, so if it's XP Surveys, XP Property, Central Suites,
yeah,
you're not allowed to take holiday off if one other person is off without getting prior approval.
yeah. So we have adjusted. Agree with that. We've adjusted our. We actually have adjusted our annual leave policy a couple of months back, but this was just a bit too late. Everyone already had committed booked holidays, and like just in the commercial department, out of the 4 QSs, 3 of them were off together at the same time. Only one left. I was like, that is fucking bananas. But I didn't get direct approval on that. It would just happen through my management
So
team.
just quickly, talking about Salesforce, you could put that in as a holiday thing. They request a holiday, and if someone else has already got the same holiday off, it just won't let them save it. Say you can't, it's rejected. You just completely automate that.
We've got it through 0. But Dorian, in that instance, if a senior manager has allowed 3 QSs to have the holiday off, you should have called the senior manager and gone, deal with this.
You're working extra time.
He won't let them all 3 off at the same time again.
Yeah. Well, she's left the business, so it's
All right. See you later.
but yeah, so it came back onto my shoulders. My ops director was off for 2 weeks, so the stuff there, and then basically it was just one of those unfortunate weeks where so many people were off that I had to get involved in some critical stuff that was to do with timing, and if I didn't get involved in them, if I just turned my phone off, it would have caused a massive issue. So
Yeah. Interestingly, though, my dad was entrepreneurial, ran his own businesses for all his life, and he wasn't very present in childhood. And actually, when I speak to my dad's business partner's son, he also had the same, acknowledgement that there wasn't much there. I was actually chatting to my dad the other day, and he said he has 0 memories of us kids below the age of 1. Not 1. He said he can't remember anything because he was just working so much, and that's 1. And it continued on to my sort of mid-teens. So I'm quite used to that. So what I struggle with is I think that's normal. So I think that so I've kind of adopted that and naturally just work a lot. Whereas my missus is very different and wants me to be present. She's supportive and respects it, but she definitely wants me to be around more than I naturally would be. Like I would just be working all the time.
I had to adapt. You can't work evenings and weekends and every holiday. I used to think it was endearing. I used to think going on holiday and being on the phone for 6 hours a day and being busy. I used to I was with two of my old business partners yesterday because they helped me with the glazing unit because it's massive and they're pros at it. And when I first joined in 2008 with them, I used to look at Darren, my business partner, and he was on the phone. He was like an ops director of a small glazing business at the time, and his phone would be with everyone calling him. And I'd look at him, and I was being sales, working for another loft company. I think, fucking, I'd love to be that guy. You know, he is so in demand, so needed that the whole world spins on his phone ringing and his decision. Bosh, and he's reactive, and that's why we're business partners. He was a great guy, but I just thought that was the way to find yourself as a business owner. That's what had to happen. And then you go through starting your own business and it is all on your shoulders and you have to be super busy to keep things going. Then you get to a point where you don't want the phone to ring at all. And that's the point of which you then make all the changes in your business to make sure that that phone doesn't ring. And you're the last line of defense. If there's a problem, your phone rings. And then you start looking at like Kevin O'Leary and all these other big guys in America, and they've got a dedicated number which is there for their staff in an emergency. It takes it with them all the time, and it never rings because they know it's there and it's available if they need them. And that was really the challenge from probably 2015, 16 up till through COVID, and then from there it's like, right, what do I need to do to make sure my phone doesn't ring? What layers do I need to build around me to make sure I will control my business? And it takes a long time to do it, but if that was me on holiday, my missus would be going fucking potty. There's no way she'd want it because she wants me to be there. She wants me to. There's no excuse. So I'm there and I'm present with my kids, and it's taken a long time. But I would be building that from there, going, I need to build these layers in. Like you shouldn't be able to take off the last week of holiday if that's your prime time. You know, you go off in February when the phone's quiet and go to the Maldives.
Yeah, so I am working on that, but I suppose, I'm in agreement with you, Stu. I'm in agreement with you, but I suppose this is just where where the realities are as well for the listeners. Is like when you're building a business that rely, cash in, cash out. But for cash in and cash out, well, cash in to come in, there's a series of events that need to happen. You have a team, but sometimes those team members are off or can't do what they need to do, or you are the last line of defense. And it just happened to be I was the last line of defense, and people around through the business's poor policies. It just that the chickens came home to roost, and it was left with me, and it was whilst I was away, and it wasn't very good. So that was I've got some more making up to do now.
You're running a business that's 4 times the size of mine, so the problem must be 4 times greater. So I'm not saying it's an easy challenge, but I think it will take you 4 times harder to get out of that problem than it would do for me and my business size. So that's a big challenge. But
I actually think it's easier the bigger it becomes because more responsibility can be pushed onto other people.
When someone does what you need them to do, it's very good and it's very addictive, and that's why I like working with good people. But sometimes, like I said, it's just shit happens, and it was just bad timing. But it is on my mind, Stu, though, definitely. Because the only way I can achieve that plan behind me is if my phone doesn't ring. So I'm left to do what I do best, which is build relationships, raise funds, go into new markets, spot new opportunities, find new ventures, and constantly motivate people through the vision and just chatting crap. That's what I do. So, but yeah, that's just the reality of what happened. And then on the back of that, though, business itself is good. We've got a few handovers, some more new sites are coming in, and it's starting to feel, in terms of this region anyway, at least, that we're about to achieve our regional target. And then I'm starting to think about the next steps, and you're constantly thinking about funds and funding and investment and stuff, because it is a capital intensive business and how best to structure things. But yeah, it's just good. But we're at the point where if we sneeze the wrong way, because everything we deal with is quite large, like we have like applications, evaluations coming in from our projects in the several hundreds of thousands each one. Doesn't take long, doesn't take much for one to be delayed or one to have a problem, or it's just And running a business, you have all other problems as well. Like we've just had a pay-as-you-earn investigation from HMRC, resolved that. Now they've sparked a VAT investigation, so we're due to resolve that. We've already had a VAT investigation in the past, which was all fine. Had a corp tax investigation. It's like, I think the bigger you get as well, the more active you get. You can flag on HMRC's radar as well, and they constantly after you, then investigating you. So, but I don't know if you guys mentally, I think to run a business, you have to be able to deal with problems quite comfortably, like kind of like water off a duck's back, so to speak.
I was just thinking about estate agencies because we're still trying to move and we should be exchanging today, Monday, whenever. But imagine being an estate agent where you've got a chain of like 3 or 4 people and you're controlling the whole chain, but you don't have one part of the chain, and you've got 7, 10, 15 grand bills coming in. You wake up in the morning and you've got like 90 grand ahead of you. The chain falls through because of something outside of your control. And by that afternoon, you're going away going, well, I had 90 grand this morning, and by this afternoon, I've just lost it. How can you run a business like that? And it's everyone's business that way. We can have orders cancel and contracts not fulfill and stuff. And the bigger it is, if you're dealing with those sort of numbers, the cash flow, because you can't run a business. I don't think you can run a business where you've got 2 or 3 valuations worth of money that you're planning on it not coming in to lean on. So that problem must be huge. I work in smaller transactions, working in 7, 8, 10, 12 grand invoices, but lots of them. So it's more frequent. And if someone wants to delay for 3 or 4 days, we've got to dispute something, or someone doesn't want to pay for whatever reason, it's a lot less effective. And that's where you taking sky loss frequency and then put it into some slow pounds and trying to fill some holes of the lessons learned on the developments has affected us. We've used some of our high frequency money to fill the hole.
Well, your business is like your engine, isn't it? It generates cash flow, it generates profitability for you then to deploy it into more ventures that can make more money. So like I'm trying to scale CashSat in a way where it is also an engine, because I'm forward selling, trying to get clients now to fund our pipeline. We're in contracts, they pay us monthly. We can structure the terms where hopefully we're cash positive, and then that for the business itself becomes the engine. And then the money that hopefully I deploy it into, what that does is just compounds. Which business would you class yours as the engine, Jack?
I think obviously we've got a few income generating businesses that are engine focused, but I actually started our development company with just cash, no income whatsoever. And it took 2 years until I actually could pay myself. I think it was actually nearer to 2.5, 3 years, but the engine now, XP Surveys, is spinning off some profits. We kind of did it arse about face. My one regret was not throwing myself into a service-based business like a Skyloss or an XP Surveys first, getting it to a high margin, run without me type of business, and then focus on developments. I went straight into development. So we bought £3.5 million GDV within months of setting up the company, and that just becomes a sap of time, efforts, cash, team resources that you then need to hire and pay. But now it's slightly different, obviously, because we've got more mature businesses that are running with slightly better cash flow. But what I did do is I'm my background and mentality has always been a trader. So I was selling stuff personally. I was eBaying items. I've probably made tens of thousands each year, for the last couple of decades, selling bits and bobs, and that sort of what sustains my lifestyle and also helped me stay alive while the business needs reinvestment. But I wouldn't have said any of us are really that lifestyle business where we're pulling money out and buying flash things. We always reinvest and grow. So we don't actually need a lot from the business.
And you also built up a HMO portfolio on the side. So that was your income as well, wasn't it? That you and your brother built. So that was
that still doesn't really make good money every month because we're buying stuff every 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, but you stopped for a year, you'd be raking it in.
Yeah, that'll be a different story. Yeah, if we stopped and just refinance, we're now coming to quite a nice phase where we're refinancing out a lot of 5-year fixes. So So if we did stop, we'd be in a good position. But
And on that, just jumping up, are you going to refinance and pull out some equity and just re-gear it to the highest LTV, or are you going to just
buy more? Yeah. I mean, interest rates can get up to about the mortgage interest rates can get up to about 8 to 9% before we start losing a pound on those assets. So they're very strong assets to gear up to 75% consistently. So pull it out, put it in something else. Our IRR in our HMO business is about 40%. So to leave that in an asset as equity and have less risk, or it doesn't even touch the sides.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Any key top advice that is on forefront of your mind? Any wisdom you guys have picked up in recent?
I've got a bit of wisdom. So one of my mentors, very successful in property, very successful in business, went into hotels and lost everything during COVID. And what we're talking about is life balance and how you deal with the day-to-day in business. And he said to me, if you said to me a year before I went down or under or lost it all, stop. He said, I'd looked you in the eye and gone, no. And he said, sometimes you need reality checks and these events. And I think that was a really powerful message to sometimes for people like us that want more, want to keep growing. Sometimes you've got to look yourself in the face and see if your answer is always no, and whether you should reanalyze things, restructure things, and think more about the future. But I mean, my answer is still no, but I thought that was an interesting point.
I can't think of anything, mate, apart from my son who's crying in the background because he wants his slice of toast. And if we were calling it a day, he's got a little X-ray to be done today, and I've got to do a few other bits. But I've got no wisdom. I've just got to get through the next 6 months of being a young dad and get my son to stop screaming.
The only advice, I've just been recognised in Wales as a rising star, and I'm in a news publication, and I give some advice there, so I'll repeat the advice on here. Build something that actually matters to you and is solving a problem, because to succeed, you're going to sacrifice a lot and be doing it for a long time. Don't compare yourself or your business with others. Consistently building your knowledge and network will result in opportunities. So though that's just a bit of parting advice, I will leave with people.
Lovely.
All right, gang, have a great day.
We survived without Ryan.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
And Jack's voice has got
Get well
better
soon,
towards the
right?
end.
I've actually I contacted one of Ryan's brothers for one of those missing cat posters. We'll change it to missing Ryan and get it out.
Get on the milk cans up for Darlington. But yeah, have a good day, gang.
Have a good week, guys. Thanks for listening.
Ground up sound.